Alright, so recently I watched an episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and it had this puzzle in it, and immediately I decided to stop watching and just try to solve the puzzle. It took me a few days. It took me 2 days, and you gotta think a little differently after you hear it. So the puzzle is that there are 12 men on an island. 11 weigh the exact same amount, but one of them is slightly lighter or heavier. You must figure out who it is and whether they are heavier or lighter by using the seesaw. The catch is you can only use it 3 times. Alright. So first we gotta look at the possibilities. And so there are 24 possibilities right now. So out of the 12 men, they could be lighter or heavier, and so 12 times 2 is 24. All right. So the first thing you got to realize is that when you do a scale, when you compare two groups, you have to the most amount of information you get is reducing the possibilities by division by 3. So that's the most amount of information you can get. And if you realize this, you gotta that the optimal first move is going to be comparing 4 and 4. And so I'm just gonna compare these two right here. And if it is left, if it leans towards the left, then we know that if the guy is within these 4, then he has to be heavier, and if the guy is within these 4, he has to be lighter. So we've reduced the possibilities to 8. If it leans rightward, then it's flipped. Alright. But if it goes to the center, these could either be positive or negative, so there are still only 8 possibilities. Alright. Oh, also by the way, and by maximum amount of information you can get is, I'm talking about worst case scenario here. So if you were to compare 1 and 2, you could get you could reduce it to 1 or 2, but in the worst case scenario, you still don't have a lot of information. Okay. So now we realize that if we compare 4 and 4, we get 8 possibilities, right? And we realize that, if you think about it, we realize that by the second comparison, you got to reduce the possibilities to 3, because you can only get left. That's not an L. You can only get left, center, and right. And so we can only find out if there are only 3 possibilities. All right. So let's start with a scenario where these are positive and this is negative. And if it's the other way around, then it's just you just flip the signs when you do it like this. So since we know we got to reduce it to 3, we know that the amount that goes unmeasured has to be 3. So we have to have 5 that we compare. All right. And I'm gonna be honest, I tried randomly combinations of 5. Oh yeah, we also know that it has to be asymmetric. I don't know. That's just what I intuitively think. So here's the comparison. You go 1, 2, 5, 6, and then I'm gonna use a triangle as like a comparing symbol. 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11. Alright. If it leans rightward, then that must mean that either 1 or 2 are greater than, or that 7 is lighter. I don't know why I said greater than. Either 1 or 2 are heavier, or 7 is lighter. If it leans towards the center, then what are the ones we didn't compare? We know 4 has to be heavier, and we didn't. Oh yeah, we know. Sorry, we know 3 and 4 have to be heavier, or 8 has to be lighter. All right, so that's the rightward case, center case. Wait, no, this is the leftward case. Sorry, this is the leftward case. All right, and in the case that it leans rightward, then we know that either 5 or 6 are lighter, or let me think about this. We got wait, sorry, there is no or. It's either 5 or 6 are lighter. So let me get rid of that. All right, and from here, it's sort of trivially easy to find out what's what. So I'm just gonna do this one real quick. So in the case that it's leftward, the next comparison you want to do is 2 and 7, and compare it to 9 and 10, because we know that these are the same. If it leans rightward, we know that it's 2, because that's the heaviest one. If it goes to the center, then we know it's 1, because that's we know that 1 is heavier, since that's the only one that we didn't measure. And if it leans rightward, then it means that 7 is lighter. If it leans leftward, then that means that 2 is heavier, and if it's in the center, we know that 1 is heavier. All right. We do the same thing for this one, except we change the numbers. And for 5 and 6, we compare 5 to 1 to like 9, and if it leans rightward, then we know it's 5, and if it's center, then we know it's 6. All right, and in the case that these signs are flipped, so let me get rid of these. All right, in the case that the seesaw goes in favor of 5 through 8, then these signs are just flipped. So this would be positive, this is positive, this is negative, I mean lighter, this is 7 is heavier, this is lighter, and we do the same thing. Alright, so now in the case that they are equal, oh wait, then our possibilities go from 9, 10, 11, and 12. These are either heavier or lighter. And we would need to compare 9, 10, sorry about the noise. We need to compare 9 and 10 to 11 and let's say 1. Alright, in the case that 9 and 10, in the case that it leans leftward, then we know either 9 or 10 have to be positive, or I mean heavier, or 11 has to be lighter. Okay, if it leans towards the center, if it doesn't lean anywhere, then we know that 12, there are two possibilities now, that 12 is either heavier or lighter. If it leans towards the right, then it's the same thing up here, except the signs are flipped. 9 and 10 would either be lighter, or 11 would be heavier. And basically we do the same comparisons as I showed before, but this time with 12 it's simple. Compare 12 to 1 that we already know. Let's do 1 again. If it's heavier, if 12 is heavier, then it's 12 heavy. If it is If it leans the other way, then it's 12 lighter. Yeah, that's it. I just wanted to show my solution to that.